Hi, we're here at Brunt Stillhouse. My name is Derek Slusselman, and we're here to talk about moonshine. So moonshine is one of the most misunderstood categories in the spirits world, in part because there's really not any specific rules about it in the spirits regulations, and so it can be pretty much anything you want. There are some traditional things about calling something moonshine. There are often specific things that people have in their mind when they say something is moonshine, but moonshine can be it can be new make spirit, which is what we're doing. So this, what's coming off the still right now, is a bourbon, and to be very precise, it's a new make spirit. So it's a completely unaged, right off the still spirit, and oftentimes people call this moonshine. This is a bourbon, and we don't use our bourbon mash as a moonshine base. We use a 100% malted barley. So our moonshine is actually much more like a Scotch base relative to a bourbon base. But moonshine, basically, to be really precise, moonshine just means it's made usually at night without paying taxes, and it's almost always not aged, because if you're not paying your taxes and the tax man comes to steal your product, you don't want to have it sitting around. So generally speaking, moonshine is never aged. The fact of the matter is we're paying taxes, and we're not doing it at night, and we're not hiding it. So in reality, this isn't even moonshine. It's just new make spirit. But people don't understand what new make spirit is. People have a vision of what moonshine is, so we call it moonshine. Historically, moonshine, if you went back to the 19th century, this is exactly what moonshine would have been. It would have been a grain-based whiskey. Wherever it was grown, whatever the grain was being grown in the local area, that's what it would have been. So say, for example, in Kentucky, moonshine would have been corn, probably. But in the 20th century, the cheapest thing to distill was actually sugar. In the Prohibition era, when somebody was making moonshine, chances are it was actually a sugar-based product, maybe with a little bit of grain mixed in, just to give it a little bit of flavor, but it was almost all, the fermentable material was almost undoubtedly sugar. So for us, here at Brunt Stillhouse, we're a whiskey distillery, and we make whiskey, and so consequently our moonshine is basically an unaged whiskey. Now, I think that drinking whiskey is something is probably preferable to moonshine. I don't have any issue saying that. But sometimes you're not in the mood for a whiskey. A whiskey sometimes can be something you want to sit down and sip, or you want to make into a particular cocktail with a whiskey character to it. But sometimes you just want to make a cocktail that has a little bit more complexity than a vodka would offer, but maybe you want to substitute that vodka and use moonshine instead. And so that's why we offer our moonshine, our unaged new make malt spirit as a moonshine. It adds a lot of complexity to a cocktail menu and gives you some options when you want to do something a little bit different than your straight up vodka cocktail. The difference between a moonshine and a whiskey in some respects is just the flavor of wood. And if you want to have those grain flavors without those wood flavors, our moonshine in particular gives you a good opportunity to have a mixing palate that is a little bit more, has a little bit more dimension than a typical vodka does, for example.
Hi, I'm Patty Picato, and I'm going to make a variation on something called Son of a Bee's Knees. Typically this cocktail is made with gin, and we're going to substitute moonshine. So the first thing we're going to do is fill the shaker with ice. I'll add 2 ounces of moonshine in there. And then a Son of a Bee's Knees is sweetened ginger syrup. So what I have made is a sweetened ginger syrup that has honey in it. So what you want to do is just take honey, dilute it a little bit with hot water, and add fresh ginger juice to it. I'm going to do 3/4 of an ounce of that. Then I'm also going to do 3/4 of an ounce of fresh squeezed lemon juice. There you go. So typically, Son of a Bee's Knees has rose water in it. I'm going to add a little bit of lemon bitters to it. This is something that we make here. You can get creative with this cocktail because it has nice floral notes on it. So that's a lemon pepper. I'm going to shake it. And this cocktail I'll strain over ice. And add as a garnish.